Alright, yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy Tech, and if you couldn't tell, trying something a little bit different. But in today's video, I'm going to be reacting to. Oh, that's weird. I didn't know my like arms on my chair could come up. Anywho, I'm trying something a little bit different. Trying. I got a webcam. Like I don't know how long I'm gonna have it. My It's technically not mine, it's my brother's, but we can get past it. And but yeah, no, today I'm gonna be reacting to the Final Shape trailer and the stuff that came out. And I heard that like all the stuff got leaked and stuff. And yeah, so I don't know what all's in it necessarily, but anywho, let me make sure my phone is muted. Don't need any unnecessary distractions. But anywho, and if you guys like the placement of the webcam, like I guess let me know. But without further ado, I guess here we go.
The witness nears the final shape.
It might have been a nightmare.
It's reshaping reality into a perfect stillness.
Anyone might.
I'm done burying my friends.
It's the end of everything. Might as well try to stop it.
One last step. Together. Into the end.
This place.
It's hard to describe. An infection. Festering.
But I could fly.
You said it spoke to you.
So what's the difficulty?
The witness shows us what it thinks we want. It's a lie.
I had a dream.
Lightbearer. Let us lift the weight of suffering. Join us.
Zavala, please, don't do this.
I had a dream. Got everything you need. Not what you think. And if I'm being honest, it might have been a nightmare.
Keep moving!
Nobody makes my fate but me.
I had a dream.
Wow, powerful stuff, guys. But yeah, no, that's I don't know. I'm excited. That's pretty cool. Um, I don't know. Like I'm kind of lost for words, honestly. 'Cause, just wow. Like we got to see the crow's golden penis. We got Zavala possibly turning to the dark side of the force. We got the witness being ominous as always. Just wow. And then like he's taking apart what I'm guessing that's the Earth. I mean, obviously it's probably the Earth, but like that's crazy though. And like I don't know. But also I don't know how long this video is gonna be because the other two videos that we're gonna watch are like 8 or 9 minutes long a piece. But yeah, no, so I guess we're finally going to get some answers as to what the, like, cloaked figure things are. So that's going to be pretty cool. And then, like, Cade's dead, and, you know. But yeah, no, I'm telling you, hot take here, but I think the Witness is honestly really, like, he's ominous. Like, he gives a sense of, you know, scare. That's so weird. But anywho, I guess on to the next video.
And Tyson, take one, marker.
There's a line that emerged in Destiny 1 that wasn't planned for, but is very deliberate by the person who put it in the game, and is very resonant for Destiny players, and resonant for me as a person. And that line is, Guardians make their own fate. That still gives me goosebumps. For me, that has sort of become a touch point for the Destiny story. Again and again, external forces come and try to impose a fate upon you and humanity. And again, you show them that they can't do that. We make our own fate. That's not just a powerful theme of Destiny, it's also a powerful theme for us as people, as both developers and as humanity. We make our own fate.
When you're talking about 10 years of story, there's a lot of stuff crammed in there, and there's a lot of things that we could do and could talk about. But as storytellers, the hardest part isn't coming up with the ideas, it's knowing which ones are the important ones. We want to tell a story that makes you, the player, feel like all of that time that you invested, we saw you, and we want to give you the experience that you've been waiting for.
We looked at everything we had, we laid it all out, like whiteboards and like everything.
We were trying to look for a theme that felt resonant, not just for this story, but for Destiny as a whole. And the theme that we kept coming back to was purpose and fate. And that's what this story is about, not just for ourselves as the player, but also for our characters.
I used to think I'd give anything to bring you back.
I cried quite a few times doing those scripts because I treated it with the love of a fan. Every time I opened a script, I was like, what would I want to see? What would I want to hear?
You get to see their emotional journey, the struggle of how do we defeat the Witness?
Let's bring an end to your futile exertions.
The Witness sees itself as the one true God. So it's come to the Traveler because it needs the power of the Traveler's light to finish this vision.
Its goal is salvation. Why don't you want that?
Be reborn.
Our mission is to make sure that we can prevent it from getting the light, the thing that it needs, in order to make it all happen.
It's finally confronted the Traveler, and here we are, thorns in its side, a blip on its radar, trying to make a difference.
You're gonna speak to the Witness, and the Witness is gonna shine a light on some things, and you wonder, like, what would it be like? What would it be like to be a disciple of the Witness?
Your Guardian's use has yet to be determined. We're in need of a God killer.
Every time you hear the Witness, you're not just hearing one voice, you're hearing whispers in the background, you're hearing all of these other textures.
You're still resisting.
You can feel a subtext sometimes where the real Witness comes through, or at least things that it doesn't want you to know about it come through.
There is only suffering!
Putting characters into pressure cookers is what storytellers do best. And I can't imagine a more intense pressure cooker than it's the end of the world. If we fail, everything is frozen forever, and only we can do it. It's just the handful of us inside of a god.
There were a couple of themes that we had when we started on the Pale Heart. The two main ones that I remember were surreal and shattered to spire.
Seeing how they put a tiny little guardian at the beginning of this vast journey that's spreading out in front of you really put into perspective the scale that we needed to hit in order to make the Pale Heart look and feel dangerous and ambitious and vast.
When we were thinking of surreal things, it was a bit of a challenge, because how do you make something surreal? For me, is putting familiar things out of context. What is the thing when you turn the corner that you are not expecting? So that's when we play with scale, we play with unexpected things, repetition.
There's this awesome piece of concept art that is like this massive ghost in the horizon, and you just like go over there and it's just like broken down in the middle, and it's just weird in a way that is unsettling but at the same time feels very visceral.
Another one that we used was body parts, and it sounds a bit strange because we didn't want to do body horror. So I was taking screenshots from the game and just trying to find silhouettes and things that would look surreal. And I started replacing all the trees with hands. So all the limbs was made out of fingers coming out and eyes were on the floor. And I do remember our direction was like that, like more hands.
Are there hands holding up the freeway in which we were born? Yes. You'll recognize it instantly, and then almost as quickly, you'll realize you've never been here before.
I definitely feel like there's some aspects of the Pale Heart where like, this is freaking weird and scary. I want to take that risk. I want to push a little bit of what expectations of a destination can be, and I hope that players love that.
As players progress, they get to see more influence of the Witness, not just on the Traveler, but also on the races that it's interacted with that we've seen so far.
The Dread are a result of the Witness experimenting with the light. So while it's inside the Pale Heart, it's able to access the light as it's trying to siphon it. It is using that light to create and alter new and different combatants. And so we've encountered some of these members before. Now we have a name for them.
The new Dread units. They're using a new language, collaborating with narrative. We went through and used this constructed language tool to generate different phrases and figure out like grammar structures and other things. The pyramid language that the new Dread units speak is actually translatable. So players, if they're really interested in figuring out what the pyramid units are saying, could decipher these. Kos yen itget, vaktoku vakad. The Husks are an interesting addition to Destiny because you've never fought anything like them before.
We talked about, oh yeah, they need some big weapons. Like, it needs to look like this thing is serious business. They wanted a bit of a secondary unit on it, so like a 2-in-1. As the sketches were progressing, we were kind of like, oh, this feels like it's sentient. And we just loved the idea.
We had all these different sound effects in our library of water bladders that make some really cool sounds when you're shaken. We used some sounds of slapping jello too. So that was kind of the foundation for the Husk. We have all these real physical sounds that come together and feels like an alien moving around in the stomach of this thing. The collaboration between the different disciplines and the trust we have for each other. At the end, it comes out better than anybody could have made individually.
There's a moment where you realize, looking at the final shape, that it's not just a story about the Guardian's journey. It's also kind of the story of Destiny's journey. It starts in a place of uncertainty and challenge, and then it changes and evolves, and it proceeds forward into the unknown. And as you get closer to the final shape, those two experiences converge. We know where we're going, we know where we're aiming for.
I feel very confident about the love and the work and the thoughtfulness that everyone working on this release put into it. And I think it's inevitable that when people start going in and experiencing all these different things that make up this expansion, I think they're gonna see it.
I won't lose another soldier in this war.
Okay, so see, here's my thing. See, I'm pretty excited to fight the new enemies and stuff. And also, was that like a peek into like either the raid or the dungeon? Because like you see like the ship's crashing. That's obviously that's a player ship. And then like hold up, there was another thing. Yeah, they were talking about stuff to make it kind of eerie looking and stuff, and like that's cool. But see, my thing is the way I look at it is if it looks too pretty, then there's probably a reason it looks the way it does. Because like imagine you're in a forest, right? Just silent, and all this around you, just the scenery of trees and just flowers and just beauty, right? And it's almost too pretty, if that makes sense. Like you know that there's something out there, but you don't know what it is or where it is. And I feel like that's what makes it, you know, ominous. But anywho, back into the videos at hand.
Team and Bungie in general is all about collaboration. Testers, designers, effects artists, animation, all these sources of input from everywhere coming together, and like that was magic for me.
The final shape, it felt a little like a love letter at times. We really thought about bringing that forward to the weapons. Like Kvastov, it's the first gun you get. There has to be the narrative bookends of the first gun I got in the game. It's here in the Pale Heart. It's like this old friend returned. How do you make this thing really good and really powerful without making it not what it is? And that was really challenging. What we ended up deciding on is it is about your skill. Oh, it's all in the wrist. A little like it's gonna bounce several times down this line of guys. You're just really good at bouncing this bullet. It's fate almost.
This thing's dope. Help!
Yeah. And we pepper in the number 7 in as many places as we could. So it bounces 7 times. It's got a bunch of 7s in its stat. You get 7 bouncy bullets when you pick up an Orb of Power. Bungie has a long legacy of loving the number 7, and this felt like the right place for it. Cayde has this iconic hand cannon that in a lot of ways has become a symbol. We took Ace of Spades and we went, where's the rest of the deck of cards? We had this really cool opportunity to theme all the Pale Heart weapons after different suits.
It has this two-tone feel to it. The opposite side of the gun is the inverse of that idea. They look freaking awesome. It also has like these fantasies of characters that have influenced Cayde. These guns are part of his past.
We wanted something that you can't do with any of your other weapons, and we came up with no hesitation. It shoots these harmonic bullets that if you're targeting an enemy, it'll hurt them and burn them. But if you're shooting an ally, it'll heal them.
I love this thing.
Oh, I'm so glad. We had to build a lot of the language, and with the new cool little Guardian health bars, you can see that. The healing effect on it is very strong. For a while, we were calling it the Just Don't Die gun. It has its own little energy bar, like the Glaive does, and that energy bar is charged by any damage whatsoever.
It's like, we know what we did.
Since you are returning to the Traveler, we wanted to focus on bringing new supers to the light subclasses.
For Song of Flame, we wanted to plus up Radiance from Destiny 1 and have it be combat focused.
If you remember, Radiance from D1 has fire wings. We kind of ate that visual space with Dawnblade, where you've got these like awesome flame wings. In a split second, if a player sees a character solar with wings, they're going to see that it's Dawnblade. We had to come up with something different.
Zach, our VFX artist, came up with the idea of this halo around you, like a medieval painting.
Twilight Arsenal is a one-off super that also creates these axes. Coming up with visuals for that axe, it was an interesting challenge. How do we want to root this in Destiny? We took a lot of inspiration from Titan's shield. What would it feel like if the axe was the shield broken up? And when you look at it side by side, you can definitely see that connection between the two.
Storm's Edge. We wanted to call back to Arcblade in Destiny 1, throwing the dagger and zipping over there, blowing up stuff. How long do you have in the super? Initially, you had a long time. Yeah,
24 seconds. We did not earn any friends in those playtests.
No, people were pretty mad. But we toned it down, and now you only have 12 seconds, and it's a lot more reasonable.
We found a problem where when you grapple and then you cast Blink Dagger out of it, I fall to the floor. Right? Whereas if I'm in midair and I blink dagger, I should be held in midair, right? And it sucks. So I want to fix it.
It's the things like the camera shake, the way the rumble spikes and then falls back off. We need all of our abilities to feel awesome.
We want to make it so that the controller melts away. You stop thinking about what do I have to do, and instead you just inhabit your character and you don't have to think about it. The game just plays.
The great thing about Prismatic was every playtest we did, the feedback got better and better. We have gone back and forth on what starter builds that players will get in Mission 1.
Okay, we're going to start the Titans with Stringer's Lash, their strand aspect, and Knockout. One of the notes we got is players just weren't understanding how those two things comboed in a loop. Well, we're going to drop Stringer's Lash, and instead we're going to put in Diamond Lance. Now, any ability kill is making your Diamond Lance. Your Knockout punch, hey, that makes a Diamond Lance. You throw your Diamond Lance at the floor, everything's frozen, now you can punch stuff again and get amplified with Knockout. Once we made that switch, all of a sudden it clicked in players' heads. This loop becomes a lot more clear, and players were much more satisfied with their starter loadouts.
At the end of the day, like, the chaos is the point.
Yeah. If you aren't surprised and delighted in a way that you didn't expect, like,
yeah.
This strike is probably one of the coolest strikes that we've ever released.
I started my Destiny journey playing strikes. I really wanted to push the expectations of what a strike could potentially be. This strike, it's sort of a memory out of the Witness's history of its race and what its buildings may have looked like in the past. A lot of the inspiration comes from 30s pulp novels, adventure flicks, uncovering ancient, hidden cities that have not seen a living soul in eons. And then subsequently destroying those cities moments later.
Imagine you're in a narrow hallway. You need to escape it. Lava is descending. Obstacle is coming out of the walls. You made this slide towards the closing door and you're dead. The door just closed right in front of your face, so...
That happens a lot.
I have 7 Gilded Conqueror titles. I want this strike to be the hardest strike we ever made. I want people to scream and cry over this strike.
Oh no!
And just say, how do I complete this strike on Grandmaster difficulty? And I'll be like, yes.
That's kind of one of the fun parts about making a strike. There's so much freedom and creativity to do wild things, and then testing that. It's just a lot of fun, that back and forth.
We have a very tight relationship with Test as designers, and I couldn't do anything I do gameplay-wise without Test there at my side. But as soon as I can get fresh eyes on it, I think that's where it really comes in.
We ran a lot of play tests, and every time I would invite people, I'm like, this is final play test, but it's never final. We just can't stop.
It's really not just one department creating something special. When you see all those things combined and the iteration and the back and forth, and when you get to this end result where it just feels like it couldn't be any other way. We hit on something amazing here.
Wow. That's That's crazy. I, I don't even know what to say other than like, I'm glad I get to be a part of this. But I know that I'm excited for what's coming within the next week. Yeah, literally in 5 days, because I'm doing this on Friday, maybe. It's technically still Thursday to me. It is, but yeah, I need to pre-order it. I know that, but my final thoughts so far are I'm I'm really excited. I'm excited for the new, the new supers that they're bringing out. I'm really excited for Radiant, like that. With the Halo and all that. Like that's really cool. I was like when I first heard about it, I was like, that's crazy, dude. You know. It's past my bedtime. But it's crazy. And like Prismatic and all that, I'm excited for that too. I can't wait to throw a solar grenade and then use the arc melee or something, something like that. Like that's gonna be that's just crazy. And like I've been waiting for that to come to Destiny for so long, because even in Destiny 1 I was like, dude, what if in Destiny 2 we get to use all the subclasses together, like that'd be cool. But anywho, enough fangirling, I guess. I guess I'll catch you on the next one. I hope everyone has an amazing rest of their day, evening, or whenever y'all decide to watch this, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.